G'day guys, in today's video I'm going to break down the charts for you and I'm going to give you 3 coins that are about to absolutely explode. So make sure to like and subscribe and let's get into it.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now.
So guys, to start off with, I'm going to break down the Bitcoin chart. So we had this bull flag pattern here where we had our bull flag and then we consolidated within this range. And when we finally broke out of that, we got a big push to the upside. Well, what is the target for this bull flag? Well, you get that by measuring the flag and it gives you a price target which puts us just around 100k. As well, why have this 100k level as a significant level, not only because it's also a psychological number, but it's also a Fibonacci extension level, as you can see when we put a fib. So this is going to be an extremely strong level of resistance that we will need to get above. And I do expect when we do get up to that level to see quite a big pullback, which could last multiple weeks or months. But what are we seeing in the short term for Bitcoin? Well, if we actually zoom in a bit on the chart, we can actually see that we're printing a bull pennant right now. And a bull pennant is actually a continuation pattern. So let me just make sure that I can draw that right. So these patterns typically break to the upside and we are getting to the apex of that bull pennant. So we'll be expecting a breakout, which is likely going to give us that final push to the upside towards 100k. So that is what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. Now, obviously, with Bitcoin pushing to 100k, we're going to see a lot of alts move. But which are going to be the best alts to get into? Well, the first one I want to talk about is Ethereum. And the reason I want to talk about Ethereum is because it's actually been lagging behind Bitcoin significantly. So when we zoom out and we actually take a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. So what this chart represents is when the chart is moving up, this is when Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and when it's moving down, Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum in terms of gains. Well, what we can actually see on this chart is we have a really key level of support and resistance, and it's actually looking like Ethereum is going to drop a little bit more in terms of its Bitcoin pair. But when we do finally bottom out, which I'm expecting in this blue box, this is going to set us up for a massive reversal to the upside. And this is when you want to be in Ethereum and these altcoins and out of Bitcoin. Especially when we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, we can actually see that the Bitcoin dominance has been rising for some time now, as you can see. So when we get that final break in Bitcoin dominance and we actually start moving to the downside, which I'm expecting to start very soon, this is actually when we can expect altcoins to start outperforming Bitcoin massively, which is why I wouldn't be sleeping on Ethereum right now. So if we go back to the Ethereum chart, what we can actually see is even though we have increased quite a little bit, in terms of Bitcoin, we still have a long way to go. Now, one thing I want to show is when we pull a fib extension from our previous cycle, we actually topped out exactly at our Fibonacci 3.6. Well, if we pull another Fibonacci extension from the high to the low, it actually gives us some price targets for ETH. So I personally think a lot of people are too bearish towards Ethereum. I do think it is going to outperform because some of these price target, it gives us between 15 and 17,000 for the top, which from current price is still for about a 4 to 5x from where we are now, which is still decent returns if you just want something super safe. Now, to get into some more risky coins, the first coin I want to talk about is actually, in fact, Algorand. And why do I want to talk about this coin? Well, this coin is still at the bottom of its accumulation range. And I want to mark this out on the chart so we can see the bottom here. And we have here its accumulation range. Algorand has not yet broken out of this range, while a lot of other coins have. Taking a look at a coin like Dogecoin, for example, we can see that Dogecoin had its accumulation range here. And what actually happened? Well, we actually got a breakout a retest, and now I've got a massive pump to the upside. Whereas when we go back to Algorand, we can actually see that Algorand is still in its accumulation zone. It has not yet had that big pump to the upside or even a retest. So when we're comparing what's going to be a better investment, Algorand or a coin like Dogecoin, I'm expecting Algorand to massively outperform Doge from here. Because when we go back to the Dogecoin chart, let's actually pull a Fibonacci extension. So when we pull a fib, we can actually see it gives us some price targets. Well, this is projecting Dogecoin to reach between $2.5 and $3 this cycle. Well, from current price, that is only about a 5 to 6.5x from where we are today. But if we go back to Algorand for a second, so we can actually see just to the next level of support around here, we're actually looking at about a 2.5x pump. And when we actually start to pull some Fibonacci extensions, so from the high to the low, it actually gives us some price targets. So a full extension from current price actually puts us between a 50 to 59x. Now, am I saying that's going to happen for sure? Definitely not, but it definitely has a lot more potential than Dogecoin, which has really pumped massively this cycle. Now, even to just for 1.618, you're looking at a 22x pump, where Dogecoin at a full extension was only about a 5 or 6x. So investing in a coin like Algorand offers a lot better risk to reward, because you always want to think of a downside risk, right? Well, the low for Algorand is actually at around 6 cents here. So when we actually have a look, the downside risk by an Algorand from here is still a 64% drop. But then the upside, you're looking at a 22 to 50x return. It has a massive upside potential, especially when you compare it to a coin like Dogecoin. Now, another coin I want to look at is Polygon Matic. One of the reasons why I'm expecting this coin to perform well is because it is a layer 2 built on Ethereum. And when we had a look at the Bitcoin Ethereum pair being at a low, we are expecting Ethereum to massively outperform Bitcoin. And when that happens, a lot of money is going to flow into these layer 2s like Polygon. Now, I have heard from my inside source that Polygon is going to do well because there's too many big players invested in this coin and there's too much money that's been invested for it not to do well. But especially when we take a look at the chart for Polygon, we can actually see that we're pretty much sitting at the lows of this chart. We're only about a 43% from the very bottom of Polygon. So the upside potential for this coin is massive. When we pull a Fibonacci extension, we can actually see that it gives us some price targets. So it's actually projecting Polygon to reach between around $10 to $12 this cycle, which is looking at a 23 to 26x return. So the risk to reward investing in a coin like Polygon is extremely high. Even the reward up to just some of these first support levels here. So the next key level I'd probably be looking at is probably the 76 cents mark. A move just up to that level is already about a 70% move. And then at that next level of support at about $1.30, you're going to be looking at a move of almost 2x. So Polygon is extremely undervalued in my opinion, and it's a good buy right now. It's a coin I'd be looking to add to your portfolio. Now, they have changed the ticker for Polygon. It is POL, just so you guys are aware. The next coin we're going to have a look at, guys, is ICP. So what do I like about ICP right now? Well, you can see in our bear market, we had this massive accumulation zone right here. And what have we done? Well, we actually broke out of our sideways accumulation zone here. We got a big impulse to the upside, and we've now come down and retested that zone as support. And we're looking like we're about to make our next Elliott wave to the upside. And what I like, this chart actually reminds me of the Dogecoin chart. Because what did we see in
Well, we had our massive accumulation range down here.
And when we actually got a breakout of that accumulation range, we came down and retested the top of it, just like ICP is doing now. But what did we see after that? Well, after we retested the top of that support range, we got a massive impulse to the upside. And I'm actually expecting this exact same thing to occur in ICP, where we get a massive impulse to the upside. Now, when we have a look, what prices could we potentially run up to? Well, taking a look at this chart straight away, the next real key level of support is probably going to be around that $38 range, which is where I would be targeting this breakout move to go. So if we get our measurement tool and we actually measure this out, you would be looking at about a 3x, just up to that next key level of support, which is a massive move for ICP, and it's a coin that I would definitely be looking to accumulate right now. That's pretty much all I've got for today's video. If you'd like some one-on-one coaching with me, or to purchase my top 10 list, the coins that I believe are going to be the most profitable and make you the most amount of money this bull run, just message me on Instagram or Twitter. But besides that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out. Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out. Don't ever rise is bearish.
Bearish target, 13 times there.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon.